Good morning, Athens, and welcome to Education Matters, the official voice of the youth. Education Matters is sponsored by your local internet station, MIU Radio Athens. Check it out at miuradioathens.com. My name is Makai Gaines, and joining me today are my co-hosts,
Elijah Barnett.
Aiden Dowdy.
Today, on Education Matters, we'll be discussing our summers and what we've been looking forward to in the upcoming school year. But before we start today's show, Aiden will give us our words to grow on.
Any man's life will be filled with constant and unexpected encouragement. If he makes up his mind to do this level best each day. Booker T. Washington.
Thank you, Aiden. So, how has y'all summers been so far?
It's been pretty weird. There's been a lot of stuff happening, including, let's say, the storm we had last week.
Oof.
My summer, it's been pretty good. I feel like I ain't had that much time to really enjoy like I wanted to though. Like it just flew by.
My summer's been pretty interesting. Like for the first half of June, I was in Alabama with my sister. Chilling.
Tell us more about that though.
Well, I was at summer camp. And it was quite fun because we had a somewhat playful schedule, so it was very interesting. But the saddest thing is, for my summer, we didn't go on our family field trip, so
Yeah, well, I just got back from Clearwater, Florida last night, and I think the best part of that was I got to go on a speedboat ride, but it wasn't like a normal size speedboat. It was a big yellow one.
Oh yeah, I also went to White Waters 2 weeks ago.
And on the speedboat ride, midway through the ride, we were in the Gulf of Mexico at first, cause they drove us on the boat to the Gulf of Mexico, but not too far out there. So we got to see dolphins, and the captain of the ship, he started just driving the boat, and the dolphins immediately hopped up behind the boat, started doing tricks and stuff, hopping out the water, doing flips and everything. So that was real cool to meet.
So how about we get started on what we are not looking forward to this school year?
I think we can all agree that we're not looking forward to school this year.
Preach.
I mean, just in general, I'm not really. I'm looking forward to school, but I'm not looking forward to school. I feel like school ain't as fun as it used to be when I was younger.
It's really nice.
So I don't like going that much. But I mean, I'll go, because sometimes, in class, we'll do something that's honestly pretty fun. And I just like having fun.
Well, I'm going to a different middle school than, everybody else. So I'm only going to see 2, 3, 4, 5 people that I know from my old school. So I'm pretty happy about that too. Oh, and the fact that I can't wait for 6th grade. Best part of the year.
All right, just for some context here, what middle school do you guys all go to? Or what school are you guys going to?
I go to Bernie Harris Lyons Middle School.
I'm going to Hillsman.
I'm going to Bunny Harris Lyons Middle School.
All right, and what grade are you guys going to?
I'm going to the 8th grade.
6th grade.
6th.
Okay. So, with you guys being 6th graders now, how do you guys feel going into middle school, transitioning from 5th grade?
Well, I mean, it's a whole big process because, you got your 5th grade graduation, missing all your 4th grade friends. I have my cousin who was, literally right next door to my classroom, and I don't know when the next time I'm going to see her.
What about you, Elijah? You transitioning from elementary school to middle school, how does that feel?
It's pretty weird. There's, different classes rather than just the homeroom class that I stay the whole day. It's pretty different from elementary.
What about Makai? What was your experience like when you were transitioning from elementary school to middle school? Any advice that you can give these two?
It was honestly pretty easy. The one thing I would say though is make sure like you stay on top of your work, cause from 5th grade to 6th grade, 5th grade you only had 1 or 2 teachers, maybe 3 if you count your specials. When you get to 6th grade, you gonna have like 4, 6, 7 teachers, and you constantly gonna be rotating. You're not gonna see one teacher the whole day. You're gonna see 7 different teachers the whole day, and you're gonna have to deal with that. So I would say get used to seeing different people every day. Make sure you stay in on top of your work, because in middle school you're gonna start getting a lot more work than you used to. You're gonna start getting advanced classes, accelerated classes, and it's gonna be like real hard. And then I will also say make sure you hang around the right people, because in middle school it's like a whole different challenge. From elementary school, you might have been getting in trouble for like little stuff. Middle school, you can get in trouble for the biggest thing ever, and they can kick you out of school immediately. So make sure you hang around the right people who ain't gonna get you into no trouble that's like detrimental.
He has a point, because like some people will judge you based off of your friends, as in like you might be if you're hanging around the if you're hanging the wrong crowd if you're hanging around the wrong crowd.
Yeah. So what y'all looking forward to from school?
Well, first things first. What I am looking forward to is the fact that all the teachers gonna be on my back, because my mom works there, and now I have to meet like this like really strict expectation. Like we only do A's and B's in my house, only A's and B's, nothing below, nothing below. B minus is pretty cool.
And you gotta stay on top of your work.
Yeah, I know, bro. It's gonna be hard, especially for a 6th grader. I'm just not going to 6th grade too. And I gotta wear a uniform, so I can't be rocking my style no more. That's the worst part.
It ain't gonna be that
Yeah.
hard.
I just bought me some new shoes that I just had the whole fit for, and I can even wear it out.
Yeah, it's the same thing for me. I have to wear a uniform every single day.
How do y'all
Man.
feel about having to wear uniforms at school?
I don't really care that much.
Like, do you feel like it's helping students to be less judgmental, or do you feel like it's just grouping students into a general population
I
of
think
being the same?
I think it's like grouping students to be in the same population, because it really shouldn't matter what you wear as long as it's not like offensive to other cultures or other people.
I honestly agree with that, like wholeheartedly. I feel like uniform is just a waste of time, cause nowadays, especially with like inflation and the way the economy has been going, uniforms and just things in general are gonna cost a lot more, and you never know what somebody's economic status is. And to have to buy uniforms year after year for a growing child is kind of painful, honestly.
See, you know how like every grade is preparing for the next grade, right? So I think we should, like, if you decide to wear a uniform when you go to middle school, which is probably every middle school, you need to wear a uniform in 5th grade. That's so you know what it's going to be like when you go to 6th grade.
Yeah.
Because they just let you wear whatever you want and throughout all your grades, as long as it's not inappropriate or offensive.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think the biggest problem with uniforms is though, it doesn't really give students the chance to express their individuality and who they really are as a person.
Yeah.
Because like one of the biggest things that I've learned just from being around a lot of people is that the way you dress can impact a lot. Like my mom always says, you're gonna get up, dress up, and show up. And that dress up part really sticks with her, because she says that you never know what a person may think about you when you walk in the room and they see what you have on. And it's like, if you walk in the room, you're dressed nicely, they like immediately, man, I think that's a nice person. And so really I feel like the dressing up part, getting dressed just for anything, but especially school, I feel like schools could be a little bit more lenient on the uniform policy. because we don't get to express ourselves.
Well, you got some schools that, like, if you get a certain amount of, A's, B's, whatever, they let you, like, go a day with wearing whatever you want, but it's only, like a piece of the clothing. It's not, like, the whole thing. It's only a piece. Because you can't truly be who you are when someone's making you wear something that you don't want to wear.
That's true. That's true.
How do you guys feel? So I actually like the fact that you brought up the uniform topic. How do you guys feel from the standards of people, like looking at it from like a higher up perspective, like the principal or something? They want to have the school looking like clean, neat, and like looking like a top tier school. How do you guys feel that uniforms project that, or do you guys think that it projects that?
Yeah, kind of, because when you're wearing a uniform, they're putting it out as, like, this is how we dress. And because they're trying to make themselves look good. Because they're putting it out like, this is how we dress, and these are our colors and whatnot.
I feel like it helps, but at the same time, it doesn't. Because when you look in our county, in Clark County, most of the middle schools and some elementary schools wear uniform. So there's nothing really like special for anybody who hasn't been here before coming to visit a school. Nothing really special stands out to them about, oh, this school is just different. This school is top tier. Like, the building, all of the buildings here are honestly very nice. But when you come into our school, everything always looks so dead. Like, any school in Clark County, things feel dead. Just don't feel lively.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with y'all. It kind of works like the Boys to Men Barnett Shoals Elementary's after school program I went to from 4th to 5th grade.
And we'll be right back after this break.
We're back at Education Matters, and we're talking about what are we doing for our future school year. And I'm here with my co-hosts,
Elijah Barnett.
And Makai Gaines.
Alright. My question is, what do you guys love and hate about school?
Okay.
You want me to speak on current experience from this past school year or since the beginning of when I've been in school? Because it's a long list.
Just say like 2 things, bro.
Alright, so I'll say since the beginning of school, more and more, school has gotten less fun. It was a point in time when I woke up and I wanted to go to school. Now some mornings I'll just sit in the bed and say, I don't want to go to school. I'm going to just stay right here
For real?
and stay asleep. I go to school.
For me, it's just like every time I gotta wake up around like 6 o'clock ish.
Yeah.
Boy, I be tired, especially when I can't go to sleep. It's the hardest thing. When you can't go to sleep, you up until like 2 o'clock, and then when you wake up in the morning, you ain't even fully charged.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing.
No, I'm going to talk about the things I like. Mostly the teachers, but some teachers can really get on my nerves.
I know that feeling.
That's understandable.
Like my math teacher, she.
The things I don't like about school is, well, honestly, the school food.
Sometimes the school food does make it iffy. It will be a little iffy.
Yeah, I think school food could be a whole bunch more better. I'm tired of getting chicken nuggets 3-4 days out the week and have pizza on a Thursday and then come back to school next week on Monday. End up with pizza on that Monday.
Have y'all know the Asian chicken with the rice?
Oh, yeah.
That rice is dead. that rice is completely dead. That it has no flavor, it has no seasoning. It's just rice in a bowl.
Rice be cold, chicken be cold.
Now that chicken be good though. I can't lie. It be crispy sometimes.
One question I have though is, do you guys feel that there could be more student representation in school?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Could you give me an example of like your opinion of student representation? Like an example of what you think student representation is in the school.
Oof. Well, for one, their like their body language / how they dress. Cause with their body language, some teachers can tell like if you're having a bad day by just like maybe the way you walk in or the way you're acting. Like you could be teacher's pet, let's say. You could be the teacher's pet, but you walk in saggy with your head down to the floor and your hood on.
Like it could just be one of them days you just wake up, you like, I'm not feeling it today.
You got that little thing.
Them little bags up under your eye. Yeah. I feel like honestly, teachers could be a lot more considerate about how students feel. Cause some teachers, honestly, they don't care. Like some teachers will just pour it out on you and not care about how you feel, what you think, and what you say. They'll just say what they gotta say and be done with it, and not take 2 seconds to think about how is this going to affect my students, how is this going to affect the way they view me as a teacher and as a person.
I have an example of that. Matter of fact, my 2nd grade teacher got fired. She told us that she's so-called retired, but she was like in her 30s maybe, and she was only doing it for maybe 2 years. So she that's what she told us, but then we soon figured it out that she got fired, but we never figured out how or why.
Yeah, and I think like the biggest just honestly understanding students may be the one problem that's gonna be close to being unsolvable in the school environment, not just here but all around the country. Like nowadays, kids, we got a lot going on through our minds, especially like in middle school age. You start.
That's when you get curious.
Like your body, you start growing. Your mind just start thinking about everything up under the sun, and I don't think teachers are able to relate because I mean they done gone and grown up already, so they can't really relate to the generation of students that they teaching with now. And if you can't relate to me,
then how do you know what I'm feeling?
Yeah, like how am I gonna know that my education is gonna be good when you can't relate to me? Like for all I know, because you can't relate to me, I'm not gonna learn nothing.
That's one of the main things that, cause you got some teachers that are quite nice, and then I really don't know, but I really don't know how much teachers get paid, but you wanna you wanna make sure they get a better pay than what they have, cause you just like that teacher in general.
Yeah. And then you got certain teachers you like, man, I hate that teacher. And sometimes, now I will say, as a student, sometimes we can be a little too overly judgmental of teachers. I will say that. Like, just speaking from firsthand experience, I done been mad at teachers.
For the smallest things.
Like, because they honestly was trying to make sure that I was good, that I was straight. Like, even last year, I got mad. I was mad, like, just ballistic, because a teacher called my mom because I didn't do my homework. And I had to really stop and think about it and say, but I was wrong, because I wasn't taking into account how that one homework assignment could have messed up my grade for good. Because homework in middle school count a lot. And when I think about it, I'm like, dang, man, I was mad. I was mad at this teacher, but she was really just trying to help me out to make sure that I was good, so I wouldn't have to push and try to fight harder to make sure I can make it out this 7th grade.
See, I wouldn't necessarily know anything about homework naturally, because my 5th grade teacher, well, my 5th grade math teacher, because we will only get homework usually during math. We wouldn't get any homework from our homerooms. We made a deal with her. If we do you know what iReady is, right?
Yeah.
She said if we do our iReady, then we wouldn't have to get homework. And see, personally, at the time, I didn't know how important iReady was. So I didn't really know if it was good or bad, because at that time I'm just like, as long as I don't get homework, I'm good.
It's honestly a huge help to everybody, really. I hate doing it, but it helped me out a lot. Helped me out more than I realize sometimes. I'll be sitting in class, teacher tell us do already. We do it one week. Come back next week, teacher asking us about stuff that done been on there. We ain't never learned about it in class, but I'm like, oh, so now I know this because we done did it on here. So it's like, it's a big help, and honestly, let me know how y'all feel about this. I feel like there could be a lot more programs implemented in school to help us learn when we not learning certain stuff in class. We could be using this stuff on our own time, or like when we got free days in class, when we can't be doing nothing that's like too fun, too overexcited. Got to do some type of work.
Yeah.
I feel like there could be more programs like that to still help us build our brains up to where
Learning
we know-
but fun.
Yeah, like that. Because learning ain't really as fun as it used to be.
Well, if you got that one teacher that's just like, because I had my 4th grade teacher, if we would get a question right that we didn't really know, she would give us like a piece of candy, like as a reward. And you might have one of those teachers in middle school.
Yeah.
Them teachers be the best though.
Them be the teachers that you like.
That's my favorite right there.
I'm going to her class. I'm going to make sure I sit down, be quiet, do my work.
Only classroom that you will actually chill in.
Yes. I think every student has had. Have you ever had one of them classes like that before?
Yeah. I feel like so far what y'all said, I've agreed with, because I've had those teachers that, you know, like you said before, they actually like understand you and actually like can like
They can relate to what
they can relate to what you're feeling, you know, like who you are, what you're going through, all that stuff. So I feel like what y'all said so far is really cool. So yeah, and I've definitely had those teachers that, you know, were like, you know what, if you guys get your homework done, you know, you guys can have like
Free time.
the rest free time, yeah. And you know, those teachers were really cool, because especially coming from me being a high school graduate, going into college, like going through middle school, even like some people don't want to say this, but like middle school is like where you hit like your most like emotional stages, because that's where you really start growing up as a kid.
That's when you start like hitting puberty and whatnot.
Yeah.
Especially like once you hit the 7th to 8th grade, that's when stuff really start like.
Yep. That's when it starts breaking out.
Like it's like, oh man, you just having the most thoughts ever. You kinda emotionally unstable, but you don't know it, and you like, nah, I know this. You want to be right all the time. You ready to grow up already. Now some of us, preferably, I don't want to grow up yet. I'm not ready to grow up.
See now, as I like maybe a year ago, I was so eager to grow up, and then my sister and my brother, my sister is almost 30 at 28. My brother is just now turning 21. They're just like, you want to value your youth. Because my sister said she would literally kill to get her youth back.
I think that's the most important thing.
Because you don't want to rush your childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like the most important part of your life.
Mm-hmm. Like without a childhood, what are you?
A grown man thinking he's a child.
Like, honestly, I feel like some adults act a certain way because as a child, they never really got to have those experiences that you want a child to have. Like being able to wake up on summer days, go outside, hang with your friends. some kids might not be able to have that. Like honestly, some adults now, when they were kids, they was waking up, they couldn't have no fun because they had to help out in the family or something, and so they just
Yeah.
grew up mad at the world because they ain't had no childhood, and so they try to find a childhood as an adult, but that's hard to. So I feel like that's also another thing that could happen in schools. Making sure that as kids they not overworking us and making sure we still get to have a childhood.
And we'll be right back after this break.
And we're back. We're talking about this upcoming school year with my co-hosts
Aiden Dowdy.
And Makai Gaines.
and Elijah Barnett.
So, Makai, I understand you have a question here to ask us?
Yes. So, what clubs at school do you guys have right now? What clubs do you wish there were? And how do you think clubs at school are helping students?
For me, I mean, I got soccer, then I got STEM. And those two have actually helped me because I have been able to surprise myself multiple times. Because when I first started soccer, I just, as soon as I got the ball, I just kicked it. I didn't care where I was kicking it. I just kicked it. So then and that was in maybe third, fourth grade. And then when I got to fifth grade, I actually figured out to do, because I was on my own soccer team and we got second place in championships. Then with STEP, it's helped me prove myself wrong plenty of times because I was, kind of doubting myself. So I had to prove to myself that I could do these things that I didn't know I could do.
For me, I would say journalism was definitely, it's helped me to learn how to speak up, speak out more. And then track has helped me build myself more as an athlete, and it helped me to establish some new friendships. And then lastly, I would say maybe FFA. It's helped me to build a lot more friendships and really step out into the world of agriculture.
What is FFA? What does it stand for?
It used to stand for Future Farmers of America. I have zero. Go that.
Zero.
Go that. Okay.
See,
It's been a while since I reviewed the handbook and stuff, so I don't really remember what it stands for. But I know it used to stand for Future Farmers of America.
See,
Because that's just funny to me.
See, with FFA, when you're playing a game and then you see an FFA mode, I'm now going to think of it as Future Farmers of America.
That's what it stands for. But,
Wait, Future Farmers of America? Shouldn't it be FFOA?
No.
Because Future Farmers of America.
You never count the of. But FFA has helped me build more friendships, step out into the world of agriculture, and it's exposed me to the number of agriculturally rich places in Georgia.
I've stated this before, but I was in the Boys to Men Barnett Schultz Elementary group. I'm not sure if it counts as a club.
Yeah,
But I choose to think it does. If you're unaware of what it is, Boys to Men is basically your first baby steps at becoming a man. It's exclusive to boys. Well, yeah, and I think it's named after the what do you call it?
R&B group.
Yeah, R&B group Boys to Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what clubs would y'all like to see in school?
Ooh, good question. Gaming clubs, because you see those people that just be, in front of a screen just playing games all day, but they've actually made more money than some well-paying jobs.
That is true. That is valid. I think the only problem that school environments will have with gaming
Oh.
is long list, but most definitely probably the number one problem is they gonna use the same old excuse everybody use about video games.
And what is that?
You killing your brain cells sitting in front of that screen.
I hate
all
it when
day,
people say that.
tippy tapping your thumbs. You're not doing nothing to really help yourself. I feel like honestly, video games can teach us as humans a lot more about the world and teach us to collaborate with each other. I know for sure one club I want to see be made is like not like arts club because that's like a general population, but I would say like customization and designing club for like shoes and clothes and stuff. Cause me as a person, I have an infatuation with shoes. Like I just love shoes. I love customizing shoes. I like drawing. So if I could put those two skills together and honestly like customize a pair of Jordans or just any pair of shoes, to be honest, I feel like that would be amazing. And I know that I'm not the only person in this county who wants to do something like that at school.
You know they have a club for that, right?
They do?
Yes.
Where?
I don't know where, but I know they have a club for it.
So yeah, most definitely that. Elijah, what club would you like to see be formed at your school?
Well, I don't really have a great answer for it, but well, honestly, I'm gonna have to go with gaming too.
Yeah, I honestly would like to see that too.
So,
like a competitive gaming.
how would y'all feel if they did a gaming type of club, but they only allow students with, let's say, for the starting, just straight A's? How would y'all feel about that?
Well, that's kind of with a normal club because you know how when
Like you got certain standards that you have to meet up to in order to participate in certain things.
like since we're all in middle school, we know that if your grades drop, so does everything you're doing.
Yeah.
Your grades drop, everything stops.
Like how they do it with sports, where if you fell in 2 or more classes, you're an ineligible athlete until your grades
Go up.
Yeah. If you are failing 2 or more classes, you can't play sports. You can't participate in after school activities. I know, especially at BHL, Dr. Clark, our principal at Bernie Harris Lyons Middle School, she says that like she has this saying where she says you're a student athlete, but notice how student comes first. And she really she's big on students making sure that their academics are the most important thing to them. Like any type of after school event, anything that's involving the school, like we'll have a skate night sometimes at Athens Skate In or Fun Galaxy, or we'll do like a water day outside, and she'll have certain stipulations to where if you fail in 2 or more classes, or if you've had excessive tardiness or excessive behavioral issues in class that have been documented in the Infinite Campus,
You can't participate.
yeah. And I feel like that's fair because then it gives students a reason.
A motivation.
Yeah, it gives students like a reason to do better in class, improve their behavior, improve their grades because they want to participate. Because if you see it, like honestly, if you see your friends doing something fun, it's not nothing stupid. It's at school, it's fun, and you want to participate. You're going to do anything that you can to make sure that you have a chance to hang out with your friends. Because what kid doesn't want to hang out with their friends?
See. Sometimes I like to be alone by myself because some things I like to do, other people don't like to do. Like I like to watch anime. Not everyone in this room likes to watch anime.
Exactly. Everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses, and not everyone likes the same thing that you do.
That's understandable. That's understandable.
But sometimes, yeah. Other time I like just playing with my friends on the game, going outside, and whatnot.
Yeah. So, I have a question, and this probably gonna spark up a lot of conversation. Do you feel that teachers could honestly be less strict or hard on students
Whoop.
for certain things that they do or say in class or in school in general?
Okay, time to set this thing off. Yes.
Give me an
Because
example.
sometimes, when I was in 5th grade, my math teacher would just be tripping over the smallest things. Like, the smallest thing. Like, she'd get mad at me. I get the question right, but she just starts comparing my handwriting to someone else's. It would just be random. Like, I get the question right, and I really don't think it should matter how I do it as long as I get the question right and as long as you can read it. But the way she made it seem is just like she was degrading me because uh cause my handwriting wasn't good.
See, I had a teacher like that last year, 7th grade, my homeroom science teacher. She would just downright flat out, I'm talking about disrespect my classmates, like blatantly disrespect them
Like how
for okay. So it was around the last few weeks of school. Everybody's sitting in class, and I'm sitting on one side of the classroom, and a few of my classmates sit on the same side as me. And then it's a row next to us, and then it's another row. It's 3 rows in the classroom. On the third row, 2 girls are sitting in a chair, and one girl puts their feet up in a chair, and the teacher says nothing to her. But then when somebody on my side does it, it's an immediate issue that's noticed. And honestly, I feel like that's kind of a form of favoritism. And honestly, like she got super upset with the student. And the student, he blatantly said it because he honestly didn't care at that point. She had upset him so much. He was like, well, you let you let the girls in the class do mostly whatever they want, but when uh, a boy does it, it's an immediate issue. And she will also do that, like the same thing with certain students who sat like, so certain students would write a certain way, like just with your situation.
yeah.
A certain student would write a certain way, and she say nothing about it. But when another student write just a little bit, tad bit off, she would say, they should bring handwriting back to the curriculum for ELA because some of you students need to work on your handwriting. And honestly, I feel like that's kind of petty
Question.
and disrespectful because you can't really control how a person writes.
Was the teacher black or white?
I forgot to say.
I'm
Get
pretty.
on. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, just yeah. But like honestly, there are a lot of things that teachers could be less strict about, like homework dates, tests, students getting out of class for things that are honestly important. Because some teachers will make a big deal about a student being out of class, but it was for a valid, important reason. Like I know one time a teacher, my math teacher, she got mad at me because me and a few other students had to leave out of class because we had to help tour the 5th graders around our school. You were there for that
Yeah.
event. And we had to help the 5th graders tour our school just in case they wanted to come to BHL next year. So I got out of class and she made this look like, oh, I'm getting out of my class again to go do something else around the school. And I honestly can't control that. Certain people want me to do certain things around the school. It's just what I do. I'm a helpful person in general. So I feel like teachers could be a lot more considerate about what they choose to get mad at students for.
Yeah, I wish I had a teacher like that, so I could tell you about my experiences with them, but luckily I don't.
Yeah, that honestly does sound pretty lucky for you to not have a teacher who does that. That's pretty lucky.
yeah. Incredibly.
All right, so I know you said something about homework dates and all that stuff. So with me being in college, I get the ability to ask for extensions and all that stuff. So and I know in middle school and sometimes in high school I didn't get that opportunity. So how do y'all feel about that?
So now in middle school, we can, well, you know, nobody asks for an extension because that's probably the scariest thing you could do. I think that honestly we should be able to ask for an extension because sometimes, like, projects may take longer than needed. Like, you may be scraping the deadline, like, trying to get something done the day that a project or a homework assignment is due. And you're like, man, if I just had a few more days, just a few more days, I would have had this done. And honestly, like, just just in middle school alone, we get so many projects, so much homework. It's to the point where you trying to prioritize. Should I do this? Should I do that? Because I know if I do this, this teacher's gonna be okay. But if I do it, I'm not gonna be able to do this stuff, and these teachers are gonna feel like I'm prioritizing somebody else's class. And so I think that we should have the ability to ask for extensions when we think we're not gonna be able to get something done in a decent amount of time. We'll be right back after these short messages. Welcome back to Education Matters, the official voice of the youth. Today we're talking about our upcoming school year and what we're looking forward to. And I'm Makai Gaines here today with my co-host,
Aiden Dowdy.
All right. So now you guys are just gonna talk about what you guys, a recap of what you guys talked about in this on this show. So the first thing being, how was you guys' summer? Like, I guess give me some expectations that you guys had and what you guys went through.
I expected the summer to be very long. Seeing that last school year seemed very long but fast at the same time, I expected this summer to be pretty fast too, and it really wasn't.
For me, that summer went so by quick. Makes the Flash look like a loser. That's how fast it went. That makes sense.
I got you. All right. So now going into the school year, what a little bit of a new question. What are some expectations do you guys have for this next school year?
Only A's and B's.
I honestly expect to be a better student than I was last year. Last year I was a good student, but towards the end of the year I started slacking off. So I expect to be able to hold myself to a decent enough standard to where I can maintain myself to being a good student and making sure I'm growing and not digressing.
For me, I get like a little bit of a fresh start because I got into a little fight in my classroom one day. Just a tiny one in the classroom, like so small. So I get a little fresh start.
So with you, Aiden, going into middle school now, what are some expectations of middle school that you have?
Only get A's and B's.
What about like in the school in general? Like, what do you wish to come out of school from BHL?
Ooh, good question. No, like
Because you do know 6th graders can play sports next year.
yeah, I know I'm playing soccer.
So you got that opportunity.
I'm playing soccer. I'm playing step. I might play basketball if I want to.
What about like the social part of school too? Can't forget about that.
I mean, like I'm gonna get to see some new people. I am gonna get to see some new people, but I'm gonna see like 2, 3, 4 of my friends from my old school.
That's good. It's good to meet new people and still have those old people with you. That's
My
good.
best friends, my bestest.
That's good.
Do you think you'll be joining any other clubs next school year? And that's a question for the both of you.
Probably just basketball. Last year I got snubbed out of my spot. We won't speak too much on that. It's in the past. Let it go.
Pass me the best.
Yeah, definitely basketball, track, FFA. I might join Beta Club this year for the
Debate?
first time in my 2 years of being in middle school.
You said debate?
Beta Club.
What's beta club?
Beta Club is for all the students, like the best of the best students who can maintain A's and B's or straight A's throughout the school year. There's a club just for them, dedicated just to them. They get to go on field trips. They get to hang out after school every other Thursday when Beta Club starts up. They do cool fundraisers. Close to the end of the school year, you get Chick-fil-A chicken biscuits every Friday morning. It's a whole package deal, and it honestly helps you make new friends. You get to learn about the people who are in grade under you, grade above you.
I know you ain't just say chicken biscuits. Let me sign up for that. Give me some free Chick-fil-A.
Gotta get good grades first.
I'm already an A's plus B student, you know, man. Like, I'm like that. I'm just like that.
All right. So now transitioning from our second segment of how do you guys so recap on like the student representation part of what you guys talked about, you know.
Honestly, last year I was a part of the student advisory board where they got a team called Glissy to come and help students like really speak out on how they felt about certain things in school. And I honestly think that's going to play a big factor into the student representation part of school.
What about you, Aiden?
I mean, well, for me personally, I just,
Hoping for the best right now?
yeah,
All right.
very much so.
So then going back to our uniform topic where we guys discussed about uniforms and, you know, debated about that pretty equally. How do you feel, Aiden, now having to switch into uniforms?
I feel very sad. Because now I can't express myself the way I want through my clothing if I don't feel like, okay, so I have my own emotional thing through my clothing. Like, if I wear all black, I'm just trying to be fine. I'm just trying to be cool for my first day. Because I had my whole first day clothing wear out. I was going to wear black Puma socks, my new black and white shoes, some black and white Champion shorts, and my black and white Nike hoodie. But now I can't even wear my shorts with it. I gotta wear khaki pants. I had a whole outfit planned out, but I forgot I had to wear a uniform, so I can't express myself.
You gotta do what us upcoming 8th graders call it. You gotta be dripped out in uniform.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta find a way.
Like, it needs to be water, like drip going down my shirt.
You gotta find a way to make your shoes match your shirt and hoodie. If you can be dripped out of uniform, you good to go. I think.
If I can get myself like some blue and white Nike Air, I think I'll be good.
All right, so now bouncing to our most recent topic of clubs and stuff. So, you know, you talked about the Beta Club and joining that. So, what about it what about it makes you want to join the club?
Just from hearing my friends who were a part of it talked about it.
Bragging.
Through the 2 years of them trying to convince me to join, they've told me a lot. Like, they tell me that when they in their Beta Club meetings on those every other Thursdays, it's just a whole bunch of fun. They in the cafeteria, like 100 people in there playing games, on their phones, chilling, talking to each other, eating, got good snacks, get to go outside some days. End of the year, they took them to Six Flags.
Oh.
Both this year and last year.
Dang.
And then certain Beta Club, like certain students, this is just Beta Club, but certain students got picked from the 8th grade class to go to Washington, D.C., just to take a little break off from school. I think they got to go to the Smithsonian Museum to go see a lot of that stuff. They got to go to the Washington Memorial. So everything was just like, it was just cool. And I think I might join it this year because I don't want to be missing out on the fun.
All right. Aiden, do you have any last remarks on anything about clubs and anything about your future school year and your future uh, journey here into middle school?
Well, I'm actually trying because since I'm a sixth grader, I gotta try out for soccer, basketball, and everything. So I'm hoping that I ace the tryouts and I can just nail soccer, and lead my team to a great victory.
Gonna have some tough competitions with my two friends. Well, my three really. Gonna have some tough competition. But you got it.
All right. What about you, Makai? Any last remarks on what we talked about today?
No last remarks. A little excited, but a little on the edge about school. But once I get there, I get there. Just gotta push through it.
All right. And with that being said, you can go ahead and wrap us up.
All right. Thank you for listening to Education Matters, the official voice of the youth. Education Matters is sponsored by MeURadioAthens.com. If you missed any portion of this program or would like to hear it again, it can be heard Monday at 5:30 p.m. or Tuesday at 10 a.m. on MeURadioAthens.com. You can always listen on demand at our YouTube channel, Education Matters Network. Education Matters is a production of the High School Completion Initiative. Thank you. Goodbye.